Hi everyone, this is Ginger from Ginger Scraps. Today I'm excited to share my weekly scrapping process with you. In this video, I'll be putting together the layout for the week of August 19th to 25th. I make it a habit every day to capture photos or videos, and then I compile all those memories into a single weekly page. If you're interested in seeing the entire process from start to finish, then you're in the right place. This is a long form video. If you prefer quicker videos, don't forget to check out the Ginger Scraps Instagram page for more bite-sized content. I'm trying to get in the habit of posting reels over there. I scrap entirely these pages on Affinity Photo. On my iPad, I have an Apple Pencil. You don't have to have an Apple Pencil. You can use your finger, of course. I like the feeling of a pencil. I also love Photoshop. I've been using Photoshop for many, many years, probably 19 years probably at this point. I was a traditional scrapper before then, and then I moved over to digital, was Photoshop solely. And then recently, probably 2 years ago, I got an iPad and slowly started to scrap on there more and more and more until basically where I do all of my personal scrapbooking. I do it all on the iPad. I might pull it open in Photoshop here and there, but I really enjoy the ease, the portability, the way it feels kind of like I'm scrapping with my hands, like in the old traditional scrapbooking manner, because I've got that pencil and just dragging pictures in and moving them around with the pencil. It just feels a lot more intuitive to me than the trackpad on my laptop. Many years ago, I had a Wacom tablet with pencil on a desktop computer. I really liked that process too. That was super comfortable for me. When I downsized into a laptop and got rid of my big desktop setup, my scrapping really took a nosedive. And once I got my iPad and my Apple Pencil, I've really been enjoying it again. So if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, ask me questions. I can answer you. I can find out the info if I don't have it, but I have been digital scrapbooking for almost as long as it's been around, it seems like. All my products that I'm using in this page are from the store Ginger Scraps. That is my store. I didn't create these. I have a large team of designers that create these beautiful products. But I am the owner. You can always find me there if you have any questions. You can open a support ticket. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I'm easy to find. So right now I am scrapping Tuesday, the 20th of August. And you can see that I pulled in a screenshot I took of Instagram. They have the new trend right now going around is to put your picture of your Instagram into ChatGPT and tell it to roast your Instagram. So that's what I did here. My sister and I both did it. It was really funny. Hers was hilarious. We were cracking up. I'm going to get a drink of water. Hold on. So I also use a program on my iPad called Drafts. It's an app. That's where I write all of my journaling. So you'll see me throughout the process opening a window, copying and pasting the journaling into Affinity Photo. It's just easier for me that way. I found that I just have to really mess with it a lot when I'm doing my actual text in Affinity. Now, one thing you can do is the speech to text. It has that capability in the actual Affinity program, but I don't know, I found it to be glitchy. It's not one of the things I really love. Over in Drafts, I can do speech to text super easily. It doesn't ever have any problems. But when you're typing up just these little small bits of journaling, you really don't need to, have a lot of speech to text. It's, short bits of journaling. Sorry. getting a little bit tired. So right now I am searching on my iPad for cameras. You can see I typed it up in the search bar up there on my iPad, and it's pulling up everything that's tagged with the word camera. And I'm just picking which ones to use. In the description of this video, I will put a link to either the gallery at Ginger Scraps, where it will have the full credits. I can also put the list of full credits in this video. Hopefully I don't forget to do that. If I forget and you're interested, leave a comment and that will get my attention. So yeah, you just drag the layers into the place you want it. Just like in Photoshop, if you're familiar with that program, this Affinity Photo has layers. I'm working with a template. Affinity Photo, you can open TIFF or PSD files, just like in Photoshop, and use the layers, just like in Photoshop. So I'm just messing around, trying to find the right camera that I want. It's funny, I'll read the roast from ChatGPT. I'm sure you can see it on the screen, but it made me laugh. So it says, your Instagram looks like your scrapbook exploded. Sorry, now my eyes are getting blurry. Your Instagram looks like a scrapbook exploded and sprinkled Disney magic everywhere. Seriously, do you live at Disneyland or just rent a room in Cinderella's castle? The purple hair is so consistent, it's starting to feel like your personal brand color. You're the family's designated memory keeper, but let's be real. They're just letting you do all the work while they enjoy the ride. It really was actually pretty nice. They really, the Chat GPT really roasted my sisters so hard. It was so funny. We were cracking up. My roasting was not as severe. Right now I'm just trying to still pick the elements that I want over on the side. In Affinity Photo, you can apply shadows, just like in Photoshop. It has styles. You can't purchase pre-made like glitter styles and flare styles like you can in Photoshop. They might have that in the future. I know that they merged with Canva, so that's pretty exciting because anything in Canva, you should be able to do something similar to what I'm doing now. So if you're already familiar with Canva, you can pull in all of your own graphics, anything you purchase online at digital scrapbooking stores. And I don't know if you can use templates in Canva, but hey, you can in Affinity, and it's super affordable, really easy to use. I've been so happy with it. There's no monthly subscription like in Photoshop, and I'm not dissing Photoshop. I still use it every single day. I use it for work. It's what I use the most. I'm on Photoshop constantly. It's so powerful. You can do so many things with it. But this Affinity Photo is there's a desktop or laptop version also. This is the mobile iPad version, and it has pretty much everything that I need. There's been very rare occasions where I want to pull it over to Photoshop and do something in there. And all I do is save the page. It goes directly to my iCloud. I have a MacBook Pro and my iPad. So, and an iPhone. Everything is Apple. I use the cloud. It makes everything super convenient and seamless. But I do know lots of other scrappers that use a Microsoft setup, and I think it's called OneDrive, and that will be compatible with iPhone, Android, and any other programs. So, yeah, then I'll just save the layout on the cloud, and then I can just go to the cloud on my laptop, open up the page, do what I want, save it again. It'll be back to where I can use it on my iPad again. It's extremely seamless and easy to do. And it's the same thing with my photos. So obviously I use the cloud for my photos. As soon as I take a photo, it's up on the cloud. and I can access it on my iPad, anywhere I want. Now I moved on to the 21st, and you'll see me here go over into that drafts program. I'm highlighting all the text in the text box. And then you'll see that's the draft. Then you'll see me go down to the day for that day, and I'll pull the text, copy it, and then go back over and then paste it. And it will ask me if I want to allow it. I said yes. This was a really small, just 2 sentences that day. And then I'm going to probably go find the picture from the day. So that's a picture that I took of our playing cards, because we love to play cards over at my sister's. That's when I say the Stevensons on my page, that's my sister's family. And she lives like 10 minutes away from me, but that's because the speed limit's really slow. So I could get there really fast if I could drive fast. But they live in a gated community and they are sticklers for the speed limit. So anyways, she lives close. I'm there all the time. We're super, super close. It's the best. So we play a game called Nut, is the game we play most of the time with my sister and my nephew's girlfriend. We're us three are the ones that play Nut all the time. It's like a high-speed solitaire. It's super fun. And you can see that each day I have the date, a little tiny image icon for what the weather is going to be. So it was sunny. And then I put the degrees, the temperature for the day. I think it's a fun way to document that. This particular template I got from a class that I took, and I am completely drawing a blank, but I'll put a link to it in the description box. It was a class that started me on this photo a day journey, and I have been having so much fun with it. And I didn't know when I first started, I was like, okay, well, I'll try to make it for the first 2 months of the year. And man, I really just, it ignited my passion again for scrapbooking, and making these little tiny bits of every single day. I think it's going to be so fun to have at the end of the year. So hopefully I'll just keep on doing it. So now I'm finding these little game. I'm sorry, I read the word game and said the word game. I'm finding little elements that I want to put on my page, and just dragging those over, trying to pick the right ones that I want. I found those 2 playing cards, so I'm just figuring out ways to spruce up my page with cute little items. So I could go further in depth about how I organize my scrapbooking stash. I can, if you have any specific questions about the program, if there's anything you would like to see, if you find this to be interesting, I can make more of these. I can also not do a voiceover and just talk as I'm scrapping. I can talk live and tell you more about what I'm doing each time, give you more of a lesson. I don't know what would be interesting to people or what would be helpful. I know that when I first learned how to use Photoshop, I found YouTube videos to be a huge helpful resource. And when I went to learn Affinity, I searched and searched on Google, and I really didn't find very much. So maybe these will be helpful to someone. I hope so. So right now I'm just, I have this little stamp. I decided that was the way to go instead of a bright color. And I rasterized it, and then you can select it and then press cut to delete that portion that you don't want. Took me a while to figure that one out, just with a lot of trial and error, because that's something I constantly do in Photoshop, but I didn't have to rasterize it first. So you have to do that in Affinity. And you can make your own styles, and you can save them, and then I'll show you when I get into the next step. Right now I decided that little card, I made it too little. I wanted it to be the same size as the 7. So I'm just I'm clicking on the 7 playing card, looking at the dimensions of it and seeing what the dimensions are. And then I'm going to click on the ace and have it set the dimensions to the same exact dimensions. But I don't know why it's just paused here doing nothing. Wow. I must have gotten distracted. Anyways, moving right along. So you can see that there's like a little chain link. So if you, where the word dimensions is, there's those 2 circles with the numbers in it. And then the little chain link in between those. If you click on the link, it will keep the 2 numbers. It will resize them, keeping the proportions the same. If you have it unlinked, it's just going to change one, the width or the height, and leave the other one how it is. So most of the time, I want that linked. It's more often than not, I want it to just resize the image without distorting it. So there I'm just applying those styles right there: large, word art, glow, medium shadow. I made all those myself. So now when I want to apply a style like a shadow or glow or outline, etc., I can go over and they're already saved in the panel. Just similar to Photoshop, different, but similar. And I just keep referring back to Photoshop because it really is the industry standard. It's the most common program, and for good reason. It's amazing. And like I said, I use it every day. So I refer to it often. But maybe you're brand new to scrapbooking. Maybe you've never used Photoshop. Affinity is a great place to start. I'm not affiliated with either program at all. I just am a scrapper, and I own a scrapbooking store. So all of my Photoshop and Affinity knowledge are from my own personal work and scrapping needs. So when I'm working, it's still in a creative way. I'm creating graphics and looking at different products for designers to check to make sure everything's good, and mainly creating lots of ads and different graphics and putting together newsletter images and all those kind of things. Doing some photo editing too. So this little tiny collection of pictures, I took a screenshot of my sister's Instagram because she had this little collage she posted on her Instagram. That's what I'm using for that day on Thursday. Generally, I wouldn't suggest that you screenshot anything to print for memory keeping because the quality's terrible. But these little tiny images like this, they're such small pictures. Did you notice that I don't enlarge any of those? Because enlarging them is going to make them look terrible. They're already 72 DPI. They're not a quality print-worthy image. But for these small-sized images within this big layout, which is 300 DPI, by the way, everything that I scrap with, I use 300 DPI because it's good for print quality. Anyways, this was from her Instagram that I took a screenshot of, and I'm using it for my day of Thursday. And now I'm going to highlight that text and grab it over from drafts. I'm going to highlight it again, copy. Take it back over to Affinity, paste, and it fits in that box perfectly. Headed to Folsom Lake today. It was a beautiful day. Windy, but still super nice. We relaxed on the shore while Steve and Eddie looked for treasure with their metal detectors. We got Old Town Pizza on the way home. It was a great day. Yeah, it was super fun. Actually kind of cold. Like, we didn't really get in the water much because it was a little bit cooler than usual, but it was really fun. We had a lot of fun. That's my nephew, and Skylar is her name. She's my other nephew's girlfriend. Up on a hill, they found this cool, like, piece of branch that looked like a bow and arrow. And then the other little tiny picture is my nephew walking across the rope where it was tied to a tree, like a tightrope. And then the picture on the top is me and my sister. So now I'm looking for a kit that I want, that I know that I have. And I actually remember this when I was scrapping this page and I was recording it, and I was like, good grief, this is taking me forever to find because I couldn't remember the name of the kit. So anyways, it takes me a while to find it. Now I paused the video for a minute there because I was trying to find that, and I forgot to press record for a bit. So anyways, it's moving on to the next day. I went over to my drafts again, copying and pasting it into Friday the 23rd. And there I am, just pasting the text. And I can see that my text is too long. It's not going to fit all in that box. You can see because there's a little red eye down there. It's hard to see it from this picture, but there's a little red eye with a slash going through it. That means that the text that you put there is not all fitting. So I have to adjust this text for a little while to get it to fit. Okay, I got my text in the box, and now I'm going to move on to pulling over the picture for that day, which was Friday the 23rd. We went to the candy store that day, to the C's candy store, and I let both the grand kiddos pick out a little chocolate bear. And this is a picture of them holding up their C's Candy chocolate bear. And then also that day after the C's Candy store, I went back over to my daughter's house, and my granddaughter, Daisy, wanted to earn some money to buy a doll she wants from Target. So my daughter said she needed to start trying to earn some money. So Daisy decided to give me a foot rub and bring me a plate of spaghetti to earn some money. So I took a video of her giving me the foot rub. I made the video in YouTube. Well, I made the video on my phone, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. And now this will be a scannable QR code of that video. So then when the page is either digitally or printed out in a photo book, you can take your phone or iPad and scan that QR code, and it will bring up the video. And then you can watch the video, on your mobile device, or you can stream it onto a TV. It's a really fun way to collect photo memories as well as photographs in your scrapbook. I do this very often. Every single week I have at least a couple. And now we're moving on to Saturday the 24th. It's going to be a repeat of the same process that I do for every text. I will highlight that text box, then go over to my drafts app, find the 24th that I've already pre-written, highlight that text, copy, paste it into there, allow the paste. It was an Eagles tribute band. My sister works at a winery, and they have live music. Well, they have live music every weekend, different tribute bands. They have really great music. It's super fun. It's a great setting, and I love it. So that's a picture. It's a pretty horrible. And now I have the photo in there and a backing on that the forward picture, I have a QR code of a small little bit of the music I recorded from the night. So I'm making a QR code, and the QR code maker, that's in Affinity. I just pulled that box to the size I wanted it. I like all my QR codes to be the same size. So after I create the QR code, I go over to the dimensions tool and I set that dimensions to exactly the same as all the other QR codes. I also like to put a white background mat behind the QR code. Then I will select both the layers, click Align, go to Alignment Options, and center horizontally and vertically so that they're perfectly aligned with each other. And I'm now editing the color of the QR code by using a style. Well, they're called FX in Affinity. A color overlay effects, taking the eyedrop tool and grabbing the color that I want for that QR code. I usually use something that will match with the background paper, or if there's elements that I use right around that little snippet for the day, I have it coordinate with that. And then I just grouped those two together, so now that I can easily move them both at the same time without it causing any trouble. So now they're both grouped in one little group. And I'm just repositioning it, getting it exactly where I want it. And now I'm going to pull in an eagle because it was an Eagles tribute band. Putting a little eagle there. That is from a kit at Ginger Scraps from one of my designers. Her name is Magical Scraps Galore, and it was a new national parks kit she just put out. Super, super pretty kit. Now I'm looking for music, so I just typed in music on my iPad search bar, and it will pull up lots of different options that I have on my iPad with music notes and music elements. And I found this one I want from a kit by JB Studio. She's another designer at Ginger Scraps, and it's a rock and roll kit. And I am getting this to around the right size that I want it and moving it around. And then I'm going to use the marquee tool to select some of the musical instruments, the musical notes, excuse me. And you'll see me do this now. So I just selected the blue colored musical notes and I'm going to move them to where I want. You can just select it with the marquee tool, then once it's selected, you use the move tool, which is that little arrow, and then you can pull it and move it anywhere you want. It's keeping this all on the same layer. It doesn't create a new layer unless you tell it to do that. But for this particular thing, I'm just moving it. Now I click deselect so I can grab the next little orange section of musical notes. I have the move tool again. Now I'm moving that where I want it. And you can rotate it or do whatever you want to get it in the correct position. Now I'm deselecting it because I'm happy with it. And now I'm applying the shadow. So I'm going over to the FX panel, going to the styles that I've created, and selecting the one I want. And then I'm going to apply a style, the medium shadow that I usually use on the eagle. And there we have it. My Saturday the 24th is complete. And now the next thing I will do is move on to my Sunday. Well, I started my Sunday and I forgot to start recording the video. So I already pulled in my journaling for the day of Sunday the 25th, and I already pulled in one of my pictures, and now I'm going to pull in some more pictures from that day. I took one of the pictures, the one of my sister down there pouring wine. I duplicated that and I'm using that as my matting for not really my mat. I'm just going to use it as the base, I guess. I don't know what the proper term is. I can't think of it right now. To clip the photo that I want to it. It's just the easiest way for me to do it rather than making a new spot for my photo. So that's a picture of my nephew eating a dinner that he liked. Now I'm duplicating that one because basically the same reason. I'm just using it as a placeholder. I'm going to pull in the picture that I want right now. I'm putting the picture of the food there, resizing it. Now I'll just grab that layer and pull it down to the spot to clip it to and clip it to it. I'm messing with it a little bit, moving it around. And now I'm highlighting the QR code and the little covering I have for that one for privacy. I'm putting it in a different spot. So the QR codes that I'd rather keep private, they have like family memories on them and whatnot. I put a little white square over them for online use. Just so, I don't know, just for a little bit of privacy. Now I felt like that needed a little bit of separation between the Friday picture and QR code and the Sunday pictures. So I got this vine and I'm putting it in between those two things. It just gives it a little bit of division. I used the select layer to select that photo, and now I'm using the eraser tool to erase this vine that's on top of the picture that I don't want it. I don't want to erase the whole thing, or I would just say cut because I want to use some of it so it looks like it's on top of and behind the photo. And then I applied a shadow to it. And I moved the picture of the food down underneath the vine so that it would be on top of it like that. So there it is, my complete layout for week 34. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear about your scrapbooking projects. Leave me a comment below and share with me what you've been working on. If you have any questions or specific things you want to see in Affinity Photo, let me know. I'm happy to make a video for you. You can find Ginger Scraps on Instagram and Facebook, but I would also love to have you join our online scrapping community at gingerscraps.net. We have an amazing site dedicated to the wonderful world of memory keeping. We have a full shop of beautiful products and a blog with daily freebies and weekly Photoshop tutorials. We also have an active forum and gallery full of camaraderie and inspiration. I hope to see you there. Until next time, keep making memories and happy scrapping.